Plane sampling air above the Amazon find the rainforest is releasing more carbon than it stores. Inside Climate News.
Here's a summary of the article.
In a study published Wednesday in Nature, a team of researchers led by scientists from the Brazilian National Institute for Space Research reported results from measuring carbon concentrations in columns of air above the Amazon. Researchers had based their previous estimates on models that relied on imprecise measurements, so Gatti, who wanted to test her own recent findings that showed the Amazon becoming a carbon source, set out to actually measure whether carbon dioxide in the air above the forest was changing. There's been a slew of papers that have said that the Amazon sink is going away or has gone away, but there's always concern that the data are not representative, Denning said, referring to the forest's ability to store carbon. Over the course of the study, from 2010 to 2018, Gatti and her colleagues analyzed 600 of the atmospheric carbon vertical profiles. They found that carbon emissions in the eastern Amazon, where deforestation rates are higher, are greater than those in the western part of the Amazon. The southeastern part of the Amazon, closer to population centers and under more pressure from logging and cattle ranching, became a net carbon emitter over the time period they studied. When Gatti analyzed the air samples, she found that as it passed above the eastern Amazon, the air was being enriched by carbon dioxide. The air reaching the western Amazon was being depleted of carbon dioxide.
This post received a score of 3,600, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Politicians be like, we will plant 3 billion trees in 2045. I promise.
Fine print, on 100,000 hectares of already forested land we will clear before planting. It's renewable. If the cleared wood is used for structures that won't be coming down for a long time, that is actually good. But if it's just getting burned right away, it's not.
They plan on dumping the cleared wood in the ocean.
The ocean, where we keep our oil rig fires? Doesn't that seem irresponsible?
Will someone please think of poor old Big Oil?
I know. An oilman could get a splinter if we just dump all that wood in the ocean. Sure, we destroyed the ecosystem, but for a brief moment, a lot of value was created for shareholders.
Sounds like an appropriate eulogy for the human race.
It's time to start acting like it's an emergency, because it's an emergency.
Nah, surely we can enjoy the cheap beef for a few more decades before we really have to worry.
Well, if you keep chopping it down, what exactly did you expect?
People still think that there's still a lot of nature left. The truth is, even with national parks and protected zones, in a few years forests are just going to be an attraction. Edit. A word.
I live in a forest. Wait, what?
Just look at what's happening in Africa. How much nature left? Or the Amazon? Or Borneo? The whole Europe and USA used to be nature. Now is just a lot of urbanized zones.
The USA actually has a surprisingly large amount of nature, national parks and uninhabited areas. You are not wrong though, there is a lot of urbanized zones.
The forest area in Europe is actually growing, in the last 25 years for an area equal to Portugal.
I remember The Guardian saying this wouldn't happen consistently until 2035-ish back in 2020, i.e. the standard 15 years away thing. Wild times.
Yep. Projections seem to have been based on linear growth when it has been exponential.
Bolsonaro is one of the most dangerous politicians in the world. His policies are accelerating the collapse of the biosphere which we all depend on to survive.
How has Brazil not been sanctioned over this? Literally threatening the entire planet. And he knows he is, after having made a comment how he wants to be paid to stop destroying the Amazon.
To be fair, the whole reason Brazil and the Amazon even have the status of lungs of the earth is because other nations engaged in large-scale deforestation before they did. It's a bit hypocritical for other countries to shit on Brazil for doing the things their countries also did to achieve economic success and have more farmland. That being said, fuck Bolsonaro and the people killing the Amazon.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.